Welcome to the McAllister Report. We join John McAllister, top football evaluator, as he shares wisdom and interviews coaches and athletes from around the country. Enjoy today's podcast.
This is the John McAllister Report, and I'm John McAllister. Today, my conversation is with a linebacker from Bloom Carroll High School who went to the state championship game. Although they were beaten, they played really well. They had a 14-2 season. And Andrew Marshall, 6'3" linebacker, has committed to Ohio University. I spoke with him last spring, and he was just starting the recruiting process, and now he's committed to Ohio University. I'm excited about talking with him about all different phases of recruiting, about things that and he remembers from high school, and how he's looking forward to the coming this fall at Ohio University. Bloom Carroll High School is about 50 minutes away, so he's going to be close to home, but I'm sure Ohio University will be his home away from home, for sure. So before you do sit back, I'd like to button the like button and that helps me get more followers, and I really am trying to build up my program. Thank you. Sit back and watch Andrew Marshall, my interview with Andrew Marshall, and enjoy my podcast. Okay, today, as I said earlier, my guest is Andrew Marshall, a up-and-coming 6'3", 220-pound linebacker.
Yeah.
Am I close?
Yeah,
Okay.
220.
From Bloom Carroll High School. And they had a really successful season. And he also has been able to get a full scholarship from Ohio University, who, if they had had their quarterback this year, they would have won the MAC championship. But they didn't. I was there. Okay, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
You're excited about committing to Ohio University, right?
Yeah.
Before we got on the air, before we went live, you were telling me it's close to 50 minutes from home. Good coaches, the head coach is a good guy. What else did you like about Ohio University?
I love their player environment. Like, we all went to their practice, and they're all having fun, but it's serious at the same time. Like, you can tell, like, they all are together and they're a family. And they love doing it. They're all not, like, monotone, going through the motions. You can tell they all have a lot of passion.
Those linebackers are from Columbus area, I think. Yeah. I remember when they played, and they've done a good job. And you never know, and you never know what can happen if you go in and buy in and do a tremendous work ethic. Okay, let's talk about high school real quickly, and tell me about your senior year, because I think it had to be exciting for you.
Yeah, well, we had a great year. You know, we had our struggles in the beginning, but we got it together. We made a run in the playoffs, and I think our whole senior class, junior class, even some of the sophomores stepped up, and we all did great. It was really a great experience.
What was your season record?
15-1.
And then
technically 14-2.
Yeah.
14-2.
Who beat
Canfield.
Canfield. Yeah, that's a pretty good football program. You like their quarterback? Their quarterback
he was pretty good.
He told me last year when they got beat by, I think, Chardon, he said, we're excited. We'll beat them next year. And they did, I think, and they played pretty well. I really like him as a quarterback. And I think he's probably the best one in Ohio in the 23 class, or your class. 23.
He's definitely the best we played by far.
What?
He was definitely the best we face by far.
And you know what else? He can play free safety. He's a
Mhm.
tough. He might have played in their game, but he's a tough guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
he didn't come out at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's pretty good, I think. Okay, let's look back. What would be a scrapbook memory you would have? What would be what would be the memories when you get together with your teammates 10 years from now and you're going to say, oh, do you remember that time? Oh, do you remember that time? What are you going to, what jumps out at you?
Definitely winning the Bishop Watterson game. Because that was a tough game. It was back and forth the whole time. And then to seal the game, I just had to get a first down carry. And I got it. And the celebration after I'll remember it forever.
One of the beaten Watterson. About as you look back, what are you going to tell the guys following you next year? When you say your goodbye to the team, what would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
I would say to take this serious because a lot of the kids, they'll play football just because they're in football, but it's a lot more than that. I think it's a brotherhood, a family, and you can learn a lot of life lessons out of it. So take it way more serious.
And you got to love it, don't you?
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys, and you'll find out next year at OU, there are a lot of guys that like it. Oh boy, they like it. But when it comes to loving it, it's a different ballgame. And sometimes, they just aren't used to that. And it'll be good.
Yeah.
Okay, as you go into Ohio University now, well, let's talk recruiting first. Tell me what you can about recruiting. When did it start? Now, when did it start really? You start hearing from colleges and stuff.
I'd say it started the summer going into junior year because I joined my first offer from Marshall in early July of that summer. And I think I really took off from there. I got my second offer September, I think, October. Yeah. And then it just took off from there.
Once somebody gets that first offer, then guys are going to offer you. I mean, you get that first one, and then the guys are going to, tell me about with camps. Tell me the importance of camps.
Don't go to combines and big mass camps. Go to camps where you could see yourself playing and getting recruited. Reach out to the coaches before camps and go show out. I made the mistake of going to these mega camps, but there's so many kids there and there's limited reps. And I don't like them.
Plus, they know I've been around this thing a lot. They know who they're looking at.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody says, they know who they're looking at. And you look to see where the head coach is or the top coach in that position. That's who they're looking at. It's true. Although I think I agree with you, but I also think maybe go to one just to see the competition. Just to see how many. I mean, they had one. I wouldn't recommend it going to Kent State last year. That was just a big mega camp. Well, you're just a big time number. But I agree with you. And then reach out to maybe the one camp, Ohio State camp. I'm not pushing Ohio State, but they have so many college coaches there working those camps at the MAC and stuff like that. And that's a pretty good camp to go to for one day just to see. But don't get discouraged either on that. It's really interesting. See how important was your senior year? I tell guys the junior year is really important because they know about you, learn about you. How important is your senior year? About development?
I made the most development personally after my junior year because I got way faster, way more coordinated, way stronger. And the coaches were already filling up their players by the time I was a senior. So I mean, I feel like junior year would have been way more important to have my senior season that season. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's good. It worked out. Okay, when tell me when you've gone to Ohio University. What can Ohio University expect from you? What can the coaches expect from you?
They're gonna expect me a very passionate player who's not gonna give up, and I'm gonna make sure I'm on the field somehow or encouraging someone. I'm gonna try to uplift my players and teammates and try to make an impact on the field.
But you're coming from a small school, Bloom Carroll. You're coming from a almost relatively country school. How
Yeah.
can what can they expect because you haven't faced this tough a competition. So what's going to make you rise to the occasion then?
Taking my reps in practice serious. All the other guys, like the linemen, running backs, they're all gonna be in the same boat as me. So if I can get good against those guys, then I think I'll be fine.
And do something that you gain notice. Do something that somebody said, a coach says, geez, you see Andrew Marshall today. You see Marshall, he really did this, or he went extra, or things like that, and then that's what also that gets it started too, Andrew. Just they notice you and stuff like that. Okay, let's go back then. Energy is so important. Energy is so important. What kind of energy? You've kind of talked about it already, and we can make it shorter. What kind of energy are you going to bring to Ohio University? What
I
kind
mean, I feel like I bring a lot of intense energy. Uh, I try to uplift my teammates, but most of the time I just get overworked. Not always in a bad way, but I get overworked, overhyped, and I'm just ready to kill someone. Really, like
that's really good?
it can be bad sometimes, but
Well, you can take some of that out of a person, but
yeah,
you can't put it in a person. You know what I'm saying? You can take some of the fight out of the dog, but you can't put the fight in the dog. He's either going to bite you or he's not. You see what I'm saying? And
yeah.
that's probably what we're talking about with you. Okay, let's have a little bit of fun, and then we'll be done here. We talked about the top sports moment was at Columbus, beating Columbus Robertson. Okay, and that's really good. Are you playing any other sports?
I'm running track in the spring.
Okay, did you run track last year?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your best 100-meter time?
I didn't run 100-meter. I just did relays.
Okay. What leg?
Um, I was always either third or second.
Okay, third. You're the slowest guy on the team, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. They got a lead for you, babes.
Yeah.
You gotta hold on to that lead. You're gonna be in trouble by your teammates. I'm just joking. That's really good.
No. I mean, I'm always either the slowest or second to slowest on my relay. That just means we got fast guys, though.
That's why you're third, man. Third leg. Don't exchange and mess up that exchange. Okay, we talked about different things. And was there ever a time in your career? I've got to add this stuff because I'm bouncing around too much. Was there ever a time in your career in high school where the light came on, where you said, I got to get after this. I gotta kick it. I'm talking about sophomore year because junior. Is there ever a time when you said, I got to be better. I got to be.
I think my junior year, one of my first couple games, it was after I hadn't really played sophomore year. Like I played special teams sophomore year, but going into junior year, I hadn't really started at a linebacker position because I didn't play JV freshman or sophomore year, and I wasn't doing too great. And I think after my third game is when I really just sat there and I was overthinking everything, and it just wasn't all coming to me. I just told myself to go out there and just have fun and play, and I think I really started to click then.
Okay, that's really good. Quit trying to analyze everything.
Yeah.
Just play. That's really good. Okay, what is your best quality as a person? We talked about football. We talked about what's your best quality as a person?
I think I'm a passionate person. Just I'm a to a friend. I'm like always someone you can talk to, and in the locker room, like if you need something, you can talk to me.
Okay, you're okay. You can communicate
Yeah.
as well, right? And you understand and things like that. Okay, a couple more questions. We talked about what sets you apart. This is a tough question. What sets you apart from other players on your team, or what's going to set you apart from all the other freshmen at Ohio University this fall? It's going to set you apart.
I would say my relentless effort, but a lot of people give relentless effort.
Okay.
But
And
that would separate me from a lot of people, I feel like.
okay. Well, that's really good. Well, okay, let's talk recruiting just a little bit. What kind of advice, like in the last, before signing date and say this last senior year, what kind of advice can you give juniors going into their senior year about recruiting? What can you tell them? Let's go from the college coaches stand. What can you tell them about college coaches?
I would say make sure they know how much you're interested, because I've went on visits where they were like, he didn't seem that interested. And I was just a little shy, like I wanted them to talk a lot. I didn't want to interrupt. And I've had coaches be like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to take him. Like he's kind of shy. We want like a vocal leader." I was like, "Man, any time to be vocal, and that was the time, and I wasn't."
Well, that's
I guess
really
that would
good.
say advice.
I think to add to that, I think that recruits need to talk more.
Yeah.
And I don't know if and I think they have to. There's such a fine line between bragging and being confident, and I think you have to show confidence. And that's not with a swagger. That's just with the way you talk. And it's all pretty serious and things. That's a good point. What about community? How did the community handle your recruiting? Bloom Carroll.
Everyone was really supportive. I constantly had like kids' moms reaching out, kids' parents telling me congrats, texting me on social media, reposting my stuff. They're all so supportive, and like our Carroll community is awesome.
Tell me how to get involved with social media. What should you do? How should you use social media? Like Twitter is a big one, I think. Yeah, and maybe Facebook, but I don't think young people look at Facebook. I think it's Twitter. So, how important is that?
Well, Twitter was really important for me because I was able to get my name, my like highlights, videos of me working out in front of coaches' eyes, and I had other people that would repost my stuff, like that had coaches following them.
Right.
So my stuff in front of their eyes, it was just a good way to get my stuff out there in the open.
Yeah, I think one thing with that too is that I think you have to just get a picture taken sometimes. I think the video, some plays and stuff like that, but I just think a picture so they can see you on huddle. Yeah. Your first thing, no, not everybody agrees with this, but your first thing on huddle, maybe a couple still shots, because for me, I can say, man, he's really grown since I saw him last, or he's gotten bigger. But if you can get a still shot, a couple photos, and that's all, I think that's really good too. Andrew, I really appreciate you being on the program. I'm looking forward to watching you. I will see an Ohio University game next year, and I hope you're on the kickoff team or receiving team or something like that. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
The very best to you, and you represent small town USA, which is great. Okay. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much.
Thank you.